Hello, 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 Periscope world. This is Mark the Pro Jackson out of North Carolina. I'd like to welcome to my broadcast again. I am your KISS coach, KISS, keeping it super simple in network marketing. Guys, I work with the new and struggling network marketer. Welcome to the broadcast. I work with the new and struggling network marketer. And as a result of working with me, guys, you're going to learn how to master the art of keeping it super simple. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Karen. Welcome, Earl. Welcome, everybody that checked in. I think I even saw Kimmy check in. Like to welcome you also. Yeah, I did see Kimmy. Good morning, Kimmy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Kimmy, I'm going to give you a call after this broadcast, okay? I missed your call there. Hey, Earl, how's it going, boss? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Once again, everyone, and welcome replay viewers. Hello, Karen. I want to welcome all my replay viewers. Please, even replay viewers, please, absolutely, everything is well. I hope it is with you also. Hey, go ahead, guys, and press right here on the little Perry dude, right? On the little Perry dude. And this is a broadcast. I usually don't emphasize sharing, but this one, you're going to want to share because it's story time, guys. I'm going to share with you a real life story of why you want to do what you saw on my title, which is Pique Up. I'm going to tell you a real life story. And once again, everyone, I teach network marketing to new or struggling network marketers. A lot of you guys that have been kind of floundering out there, you're trying to figure it out. You're getting all this awesome, great training at your weekly meetings, at your super Saturdays, at your regional events, at your international events, and you're getting a lot of great content there, guys, and you want to apply what you're learning. But what I learned from 30 plus years of experience, both full-time and part-time in this industry, is that so many people on my team and so many people that I've seen across the industry, once they get home and the lights come on and it's showtime, it's game time, it's time to talk to that person to expose your business, it's time to close the deal, it's time to knock out the three-way call, it's time to close the sale, it's time to, share your opportunity or share your products and services, and then you freeze up. And then all those things that you learn, you got excited about it when you heard it, but when it's showtime, a lot of it doesn't stick right here, right? And so what I do as your KISS coach is I keep it super simple. I train where an 8-year-old can understand it. The way I train is through experience. Matter of fact, I share with you 6 different things. You're going to learn from me 6 different ways, guys. It's exciting, it's fun, it's funny. And more importantly, you're going to get results. So you're going to learn from me, from 30 plus years of experience, from mentoring, from my successes, from my failures, my philosophies, and 6, and finally, but most important, from leadership. So you're going to learn so many things as you watch these free programs, okay? Well, what we call free 95 is what I call it, right? I kind of stole that from somebody else on Periscope. She says free 99. I'm going to call it free. Mine are free 95, all right? So for free 95, you're getting this information, and I'm going to give you information, guys, that you can use immediately, okay? You can use, welcome, Marcon. You can use this information immediately. That's going to help you with your business, okay? So once again, guys, I am Mark the Pro Jackson out of North Carolina. I am your KISS coach. Please share this with everybody. I normally don't say that, but this time you want to share it with everybody that's about making money in the network marketing industry. Doesn't matter what company. I don't represent one specific company. I help people across the board. I already have 4 or 5 different companies represented as my students or members in the KISS mentoring and training. And they are learning so much, guys, and we haven't even scratched the surface, okay? We haven't even scratched the surface. So what I'm talking about today, guys, is I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about a concept about what we teach in this industry, what your leaders, some of you may have heard it on the main stage in your particular company, and it's called piquing up. When you pique somebody, P-I-Q-U-E, that's the word, pique. Pique is another word for spark. If I pique someone's interest, I spark their interest. I got them interested, okay? That's what peak stands for. So what does peaking up mean? Because most people peak down, okay? What does peaking up mean? Peaking up simply means, guys, that you are sparking the interest or you are approaching people. Thank you for those beautiful hearts, guys. Thank you for the hearts. I definitely appreciate those. That you are piquing people's interest with your particular company. Welcome to the broadcast. You are piquing people's interest that are at a higher, let's change that. I don't want to say a higher level. You are piquing people's interest that you look up to. That's what piquing up means. Exposing someone to your opportunity that you look up to, that has a higher status in the community, that has a higher status in the church, that has a higher bank account than yours, that has a higher annual income than yours, that has a higher circle of influence than yours, that has a higher everything or a few things than what you have. That is called peaking up. Okay? Most people peak down, or they peak eye level. All right? So let's say this. I'm a nurse, okay? For those of you who didn't know, I'm also a nurse. So let's say I don't work now, I'm retired, but let's say I had a nursing job and I'm sitting there with a bunch of nurses, they're all got the same kind of, LPN, RN or whatever. And they watch me go into my job day in, day out, day in, day out. I am one of them. We have the parties, we have all the food around, right? We just do everything together, celebrate, we cry together, we have a great time. I am one of them. So now that I'm in this awesome business opportunity to make you healthier, make you wealthier, make you wiser or whatever, and I share my opportunity with them, or I properly expose my business to them that I'm so excited about, they're not really listening anymore. They're not really listening like I would like them to because I'm one of them. Mark, you're a nurse. You're a hospice nurse. You're a good hospice nurse. So how in the world are you going to tell me about cell phones? How are you going to tell me about telecom? How are you going to tell me about makeup or skincare products? All of a sudden you went from a nurse to a skincare product expert? How are you going to do that, right? So it's but the thing is, why do we peak? Why do we expose eye level? Why do we expose lower, right? And I'm not saying CNAs are lower, certified nursing assistants, but nurses make more money than nursing assistants, right? So it is easy for me to talk to a nursing assistant. Why? Because they look up to me, right? I am their supervisor. I tell them what to do. I give them their assignment on the daily basis, right? So now I am peaking down, so to speak, because I know they look up to me. So my challenge to you guys, and this can be nerve-wracking, this is a challenge. And that challenge is to start peaking up. Start peaking people that make more money than you. Start sparking the interest of people and exposing your business to people that have a bigger influence in the community than you, that have a bigger influence in the political world than you, that have a bigger influence in the social world than you, in the athletic world, the sports community. Those are the people. If you all saw my previous scope that I did a training about about the different types of people that you're actually going to come across, right? The 5 different types of people that you're going to encounter in your business. And the first type was the runners, right? The runners. It's hard to find a runner, but if you want to get good at finding a runner, someone that's going to be accountable for 80% of your income, a leader, someone that has influence, then guess what you're going to have to start doing, folks? You're going to have to start peaking up. You're going to have to start talking to those people of influence. Okay? That's so important. So it's story time. I've told you the power of peaking up, and I have a whole training on that I give to my private members to get into more detail of how to do it. But every time I do that mentoring session with the teams that I've had, I always share this story that happened to me decades ago. Okay, that's how long ago I've been learning about this peaking up process. Okay, and I got to share this story with you because it happened to one of my very best friends. Welcome, Brew. It happened to one of my very best friends, and I won't say his whole name, but his name is James. His first name is James. Real deal. His first name is James. Okay, and James and I have always been close. And James and I actually got involved in a company. Okay, James actually sponsored my dad in the company, and my dad sponsored me in the company, okay? Now, I have a mentor, my number one mentor in this industry, and his name is Mr. Gates, okay? Mr. Gates really has the biggest part in who I am today. I learned more from Mr. Gates than anybody else, okay? As far as building a team, the philosophies behind business and so forth, Mr. Gates. Mr. Gates is one of the top money earners in a company that's been around for over 20 years in multiple countries. And he is one of the few people that I know that can truly have worked their network marketing business and can truly kick his feet up on his desk, turn his computer on, and watch the numbers turn. His income is truly on autopilot because of the way he builds his teams. So, Mr. Gates was our upline mentor. He was our upline leader in this particular company. And my friend James was pushing. And James shared everything with me, what was going on. And Mr. Gates also worked with me. But James was at a higher level, and James was trying to hit another level of the company that was going to change him, change he and his family's life, okay? And he was like pushing for that position, and he could never quite pull it off. And more people were coming on to James's team, different parts of James' team. More and more people were coming to the weekly meetings, guys. We used to have them at a library, the local library where it was free, and you could seat, that library could seat over 100 people, and the conference room, I mean. And so many people were coming. And so Mr. Gates would come down as our special guest to do training and to talk about the compensation plan. And Mr. Gates, at the end of the meeting, my friend James was so excited because he felt like he was getting closer to his position. And Mr. Gates, he told it the way it is to be told. He sat my friend down and he said, James, you had a great meeting tonight. A lot of people, a lot of new, that's good. He said, but you telling me that you trying to get to the next level, right? My friend James says, right, that's right, Mr. Gates. I won't say his first name. We'll just call him Mr. Gates. He said, that's right, Mr. Gates. Welcome, Alex, okay? Welcome. All right? He said, that's right, Mr. Gates. He said, no disrespect, James, but as I looked around that conference room, and no disrespect to anybody watching this broadcast either. I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer on this because I don't want to offend anybody, okay? But this is what Mr. Gates said. He said, no disrespect, James. Wonderful people. He said, but you telling me you want to really get to the next level. And as I look around that room, you basically got a whole room full of church ladies. Can I say that again? I don't know if y'all heard me on the mic. Let me say that one more time. He said, as I look around the room, basically, I see a whole room full of church ladies. Now, Mr. Gates is the nicest guy. He has nothing against church-going folks, okay? He is a church-going folk, all right? But what was his point? See, sometimes you just can't be politically correct all the time. When you're trying to win, sometimes you got to look at it like it is. His point was that everybody in that room, remember I talked about peaking up, peaking eye level, or peaking down? Everybody in that room was your typical blue collar, church going, average, good hearted person. Okay? Did I say that well enough without offending anyone? He said, everybody in that room. He said, you got a room full of church folks. Church lady, because a lot of women on this team. And he wasn't saying out of disrespect, but what he was saying was, you can't tell me you try to get to the next level and you won't peak up. Because most of our team is going to be made of walkers and sleepers. Walkers and sleepers. Most of our team is going to be made of walkers and sleepers. And you're going to have a certain amount of success with walkers and sleepers. And if you don't know what a walker and sleeper is, look at one of my previous broadcasts on catch.me, where I talk about the 5 different types of people that you'll come across on your team. He said, but if you want runners, if you want to pop ranks, if you want to get to that life-changing income position, you are going to have to start peaking up. And he took James, my friend James, to the side. And, we finished out that event. And then the next day, later on that week, my friend, Mr. Gates called my friend James. And he says, James, how bad do you want to hit so-and-so position? James says, man, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. He says, well, let me tell you something right now, James. He says, don't put me on another three-way call. Don't invite me to another event until you start peaking up. Till you start peaking up. He said, you can lose my phone number if you put people on the phone with me that are making as much or less than what you earn a year. He said, I don't want to do another three-way call with you unless you have somebody on the phone that you look up to. Unless you've got somebody on the phone that makes at least $30,000 more a year than you can lose my number, James. And he hung up on him. Now, it was funny, guys. It was funny because when my friend James told me this story, he was so mad. Okay, Mr. Gates is an awesome gentleman. He's a white gentleman. He kind of bald-headed, wear these little tiny glasses, right? And my friend James, he said, "Ooh, Mark," he said, when Mr. Gates told me that, I could have just slapped that bald-headed so-and-so right across. Right? He was mad, right? He was mad. He said, James, because he told him, he said, James, you're nothing but a big chicken. You're scared. You are scared to win. He said it. He said, you're scared to win. Lose my phone number unless you put me on the phone on unless you put me on the phone on the three-way call with someone that makes at least $30,000 more a year than you. Because if you want to win, you're going to have to find some movers and some shakers. You need to find some runners. You need to find some people that are hungry and want it bad, and they want it now. Lose my number, James. You're a big chicken. And he hung up on him. And my friend James, if he could have got his hands on Mr. Gates, he probably would have killed him. Okay? He probably would have killed him. But here's the thing, guys. After James got over his being upset, he thought about it. This was a weekend telephone call. James got this call on Sunday. James told me this story. He says, Mark, and I know the story because I was part of his team. He said, Mark, I sat down and I said, in that local city, there's a highway called Highway 74. It's like a interstate, but it's really a highway, Highway 74. And there's businesses all up and down that highway. Everybody's very familiar with that area because we have a small town. He says, Mark, I said on Monday morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to drive I'm stopping at every place of business up Highway 74, and I am not piquing anybody but business owners. I'm not talking to the person that runs the register. I'm not talking to the guy that sweeps the floor. I'm not talking to the lady that serves the fries. He says, I am talking to business owners, people that understand money. People that understand success and what it takes, how you have to fail your way to the top. People that understand the bumps and bruises and the process and that things aren't get rich overnight. Right? God bless you. God bless you. All right? So that's what he said. He said, and I'm going to stop at every place of business, and I'm going to talk to business owners. And that's what he did. That's what he did, guys. He stopped at every business. No, not interested. No, not interested. Get out of here. You're not supposed to sell here. I don't want to talk to you. Maybe later. No. God bless you. Right? All he heard was no's. And when he got to his, I can't remember what he said, but it was around the 17th or 18th business. He came up to a car dealership. And he went in, he said, Mark, I heard no so many times it didn't even bother me. He said, but I was still nervous because Mr. Gates had pissed me off. God bless you. Mr. Gates had pissed me off. And I was determined to get in front. No, everybody just say God bless you, okay? That's how I do it on here. Just God bless you. If y'all would help me out with that, somebody, just say God bless you, all right? I appreciate that. So, he said, Mr. Gates had pissed me off so much. He said he had pissed me off so much. I was determined to find me an influencer. And so he goes into the 17th building. He says, "Hi, my name is James." He says, "Hi, my name is James, and do you keep your business options open?" Now, first of all, he has to speak to the owner. Now, I speak to the owner. They said, right, he's right there in his office. So they went. He said, "Sure, come on in." And he goes in. He says, "Hello," shakes his hand. "My name is James. Nice to meet you, sir." He said, "Let me ask you a question. Do you keep your business options open?" That was the question that he was using. Do you keep your business options open? And that's a great question for business owners, not for the average people out there. And he looked at him. He says, "James, matter of fact, I do." And this was an older white gentleman, very polite. He had influence in his church. He come from a huge church. He had, his business was a solid business in that community for well over like 20 something years. Everybody bought cars from him. He had a huge network. He had a huge network. Okay? And he said, "Matter of fact, I do." And then my friend James says, "Sir, I've got something you need to see." All right? And he went on about to share his opportunity, and he got that gentleman, and I'll say his name. His name is Mr. Whitley. That's real name, Mr. Whitley. Mr. Whitley, he got Mr. Whitley, a successful business owner and person of influence. He got Mr. Whitley on a three-way call with Mr. Gates. He calls up Mr. Gates. He says, "Mr. Gates, this is James." He said, "Listen, I'm standing in the office of a business owner of a successful auto dealership. His name is Mr. Whitley, and he is interested in hearing about this opportunity because he keeps his business options open." He said, I've already told him about you, Mr. Gates. I told him how you are leading the way in this community, in this state. You're the number one person in this state, and you're helping a lot of people create extra income. I'd love for you to speak to Mr. Whitley." Boom. And he handed Mr. Whitley his cell phone. He handed Mr. Whitley his cell phone. Mr. Gates got on the phone with Mr. Whitley. Now, before I continue the story, let me just share with you. Let's just recap what happened. My friend James had to get pissed off. He had to get fed up. Write this phrase down if you're taking notes. Sometimes you got to get fed up to get led up. Did y'all catch that? Sometimes you got to get fed up to get led up. See, sometimes we'll continue to do things our own way. We won't get out of our comfort zone. We'll continue to do things the way we want to do them. We won't follow the systems that's set up in your company, and you wonder why you're not progressing. That could be one of the factors. So James was in his comfort zone for a long time. But when Mr. Gates called him a chicken, called him scared, called him he had a team full of church women, told him that he can't win because he's too scared to win, and lose my phone number if you don't start piquing people that make at least $30,000 more a year than you. He said, "Forget it. Lose my number." See, that's when my friend James got fed up. And he went through the torture and the pain of hearing no, get out of here, no selling in this place. He just kept hearing it 17, 18 times till he walked in that dealership and the owner was in his office, a successful auto dealership, and the owner said, "Yes, James, I do keep my business options open." Now, that owner knew that he was at a socially higher level than James, right? He knew that. And James knew that. So James followed the system that your company has, my company had when I was doing it, and everybody's company has, and that is get the person on the phone with your expert, with your influencer in your company. So James wasn't the one to talk about the company to Mr. Whitley. It was Mr. Gates' job to lead him to the website, to lead him to the information. Because now it's been verified, validated. So let's continue with the story. So my friend James, his organization always had like a slow, kind of steady growth and so forth. Mr. Whitley went on the website. He looked at the videos. He looked at the website. and he said, I'm in. He said, I'm in. When James went back the next day to follow up with Mr. Whitley, Mr. Whitley said, James, I'm getting in today. James, I know I've already made phone calls. I've got some people that are going to be joining me. James signed this gentleman up. This particular opportunity at the time was $499. James signed up Mr. Whitley. Mr. Whitley got on the phone and called all of his top people. Mr. Whitley had his whole family in it. Mr. Whitley had part of the church in it. Mr. Whitley had other business owners, insurance salesmen. This valuable information. Okay, who is that? Youngster. I sure will, youngster. Make sure you follow me. I'll follow you back. He made sure there were people in the community on that same highway that James actually went in. Y'all, listen, y'all hear what I just said? The same highway that James was going in business after business to speak to owners about his opportunity and ask them, do they still keep their business options open? Some of the people that said no to James said yes to Mr. Whitley. And guess whose team they ended up being on? They ended up being on James's team. Within the next $499, guys. And then within the next 45 days or so, within the next 45 to 60 days, because of Mr. Whitley, over 50, 60 people came on his team. They were coming in packs on his team. $499. They were just coming in like crazy. He was making phone calls at his auto dealership, calling people saying, you need to get in this business with me. And they said, okay, Mr. Whitley, how much is it? He said, get your credit card out, go to my website, it's $499. Go ahead and register, go ahead and sign yourself up. And I got a friend here named James who's going to give you a call and he's going to help you. These were people that James, and by the way, not that it matters, but it does matter. James is black, okay? James is black, African American, right? And Mr. Whitley is white, and most of his circle is white. This is a marketplace that James would have never gotten into. This is a marketplace that he had no shot of tapping into as far as that particular circle under Mr. Whitley. But now, guess what happened to James's level? Because Mr. Whitley respects James and he's on James's team, and James did it the right way by getting Mr. Gates on the phone with Mr. Whitley, now Mr. Whitley edifies James to people that James didn't even know. And now when they go to the trainings, when they go to the meetings, when they go to the events, those people are introducing their circle to James. His business exploded. He hit that position he wanted to hit. And he looked at me in the eyes and he said, Mark, that's what he did. He said, Mark, I would have never had seen this coming if Mr. Gates had not challenged me, called me a big chicken. I'm scared to peak up. Isn't that a powerful story, guys? Isn't that a powerful story? James, thank you for those hearts. That's telling me that you appreciate that story. James, welcome, Diaz. James only had to share that story with me one time. I have been sharing that story for years, guys. Andy Roll, welcome. I've been sharing that story for years. Those of you that just checked in, my name is Mark the Pro Jackson. I am your KISS coach, KISS, which stands for Keeping It Super Simple. I'm the founder of the KISS Mentoring and Training Program. It is the only daily personalized mentoring and training program in the nation, where I actually work with you personally, like a personal trainer. If you're trying to lose weight or get fit, I work with you personally on a daily basis. We can talk every day, every other day, every third day, but you have access to me up to 6 different ways, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I take the new and struggling network marketer, and as a result of you working with me, you're going to learn how to master the art of keeping it super simple in the network marketing industry. Once again, I work with the new and struggling. That's who I focus on. All you good, hardworking people out there that are falling through the cracks, hundreds of thousands of people that are falling through the cracks in network marketing because you haven't deserved the time and the personal attention of your leader yet. That's just an unwritten principle in network marketing. Leaders have to spend their time where it's deserved and not where it's needed. But what I've learned in over 30 plus years in this industry is that there are a lot of good people that deserve to create some financial relief income, extra $500 to $1,000 a month. The sad part is that most people in network marketing never see $500 a month residually. I'm not talking bonuses, but I'm talking residually. So my job, and the reason why I started this company is to create a very, very affordable system, program in place that you can participate in to have someone that has had successes. They've had failures. They've helped thousands of people. They built teams in 4 different countries. They built teams in multiple companies. I'm getting my words mixed up. Multiple companies and multiple countries. There we go. Okay. And someone that's earned a BMW, someone that's helped other people qualify for the car program. So this program is the first and only of its kind where you have my phone number, I have your phone number. I do trainings. This training right here is free 95, okay? This is a free training. It's free 95. But if you go to my website, you see it right above my head, marktheprojackson.com. marktheprojackson.com. Go in, read what I'm all about. Tell your friends about it, guys, because the folks that are already part of this membership program are already having results, okay? And we haven't even got started yet. We haven't even scratched the surface because you're going to learn from me 30 plus years of experience, mentorship, successes, failures, philosophies, and most importantly, leadership. So we cover all of those in this program. It is not an academy. It is an ongoing training. You can get in for 30-day membership. If you want to stop after 30 days, you can. I don't recommend it. marktheprojackson.com. That's correct. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andy. Now, right while I'm on that, since it is my broadcast, I can do a commercial, right? So I want you to go to marktheprojackson.com. I am giving away up to midnight tonight, midnight Eastern Standard Time, okay? I am in North Carolina. Marktheprojackson.com, and you're going to click on the tab that says Contact Me. When you click on Contact Me, put in your email address, and under the subject, I want you to put the word free, because everybody that does this up to midnight tonight, your name is going to go into a drawing for a free 30-day trial membership. In other words, I'm going to add you to the KISS crew, our KISS family, and you are going to be trained. The training that you're going to get is not the cookie cutter training that you hear so many times. This is going to be things that you can use right away, that's going to be taught where an 8-year-old can understand it. You're going to never forget it, and you're going to be able to recall it and bring it back on demand. I'm talking about things like how to properly expose people to your business. I'm talking about things like how to get people to ask you. 90% of the time, they're going to ask you for what you have. I'm talking about overcoming multiple objections, like, I don't have the money, I need to talk to my spouse. Or how about the pyramid? Is this one of those pyramids? I know what all you guys were taught to say when they say, is this a pyramid? But how's that been working for you so far, right? See, a lot of times, some of the things that are said on stage doesn't necessarily transfer over to real life situations. Some of it does, but some of it doesn't, okay? And if it does, can you still remember it the way they taught it, all right? So I'm going to teach you KISS, the KISS system, the KISS mentoring and training system, guys. It will literally blow you away. Go to Mark the Pro Jackson. So I'm giving away 2 free things. Not only am I giving away a free 30-day membership, I'm going to do the drawing on air tomorrow. I'm going to have a broadcast where I'm going to do the drawing. Everybody that registers their name is going to go into the drawing for the free 30-day membership, okay? But everybody that puts in their email address and registers is going to win a free up to 30-minute consultation, network marketing consultation with me, the KISS coach, okay? Whether it's a question about building, whether it's a question about how to sell your products, whether it's a question about what's the best way to expose the business, whether it's a question about the objections, whether it's a question about people skills, whether it's a question about skill set, whether it's a question about leadership, whatever it is you need to speak about, to get some advice on, some expert advice on, All you got to do, guys, is register. Go to marktheprojackson.com, click on contact me, put in your email, put in free, and you automatically win 30 minutes. Or if you choose, I can do 30 minutes of training on any topic you'd like for me to train on. I can do 30 minutes of a training like you never heard before on your team call. Because I know some of you guys are leaders out there. You have your own conference calls maybe once a week, twice a week. So if you would like for me to be a speaker from the outside, a guest speaker, because normally if I do that for up to 30 minutes of training, I call the consultation fee is $39.95, which is still not much, but if it's $39.95. But for my KISS members, it's absolutely free. Okay? My private consultations are one session is $39.95. For one session, that's a 30-minute session. But just for registering, you're going to get a 30-minute consultation absolutely free. Okay? All right, so that's my commercial. Make sure you go to my site and register. So, guys, that is my story about Piquing Up. My story about my friend James, about my mentor, Mr. Gates. And because I actually was able to witness that take place in real life, in real time, because I was actually a part of that journey, I never forgotten it. And I always believe that everything you do and everything you see, whether it's good or bad, should be a teaching moment. Everything that you do, everything that you see should be a teaching moment. Whether it's you learn what to do or whether it's you learn what not to do, but it still should be a teaching moment. So guys, I wanted to share that story with you. Hopefully that story impacted you and maybe take some of the fear away because of the rewards. I mean, if you want to get rid of the fear, think of the rewards you're going to. What if you hit that one person like my friend James did? The 17th business he approached, he met Mr. Whitley, and that changed the whole course of his business. That changed the whole course of the network that he had. That raised his lid level. That's raised his level of influence. It doesn't take but one person to change your business. Two people, and everybody wants to get your autograph. Okay? So, anyway, guys, that is my training. Hopefully you enjoyed that story. Replay viewers, live viewers, give me some hearts if you like that story. Please share this. I'm going to share it a couple of times a day on Twitter. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page. If we're not friends on Facebook, go to Mark the Pro Jackson. Once again, that's Mark the Pro Jackson. That is my Facebook page. And I will post this video through my catch.me account. Okay? So thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. One last time, go to my website, get that free 30-minute consultation, guys. Get that free 30-minute consultation or training on your team call. That is a huge, huge value. It's worth a whole lot more than what I market it for, but you're going to get it absolutely free. And one of you, okay, will hit me up. Thank you. If we're not friends on Facebook, Andy, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook. Okay? But go ahead, Andy, and those of you that watch the broadcast, go ahead to my website so that you get free 30 minutes. Okay? And you might be the fortunate one to win. By the way, tomorrow's my birthday. So that's why I'm doing it on tomorrow instead of today or yesterday. I wanted to do that on my birthday. I wanted to give a gift on my birthday. Okay? So thank you, everybody. I really enjoyed doing this broadcast, and I probably will broadcast again later on today. All right? So everybody take care. Remember, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I'm Mark the Pro Jackson, Fraulein Jackson's husband. You all be blessed. Bye-bye.